All right, let's check it out. Check out for audio. See if we get anything back. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Welcome, viewers. My name is Sidney Winston, and this is the channel for you. Got a bit of a mixed hodgepodge of stuff today. But for those of you who have been following the channel, Jason is back, and he has made a video. And we're going to watch that video right now.
What's up, guys? It's the Reverend Wizard.
Oh, yeah?
Why did I call myself that? Because, well, this cloak around this area now has made me be called the Wizard. So I embrace that. And I will take it. I hope all you guys are doing well. Me? How am I? I'm blessed every day. This is my home. Yeah, I got no permanent roof over my head. But God finds a way every day to show me that he still loves me. So that's pretty cool. And I got coffee. And I got cigarettes. Because of one angel out there. And because of that angel, I supply homeless people around here with a lot of cigarettes too. So, who was it? I can't remember which reaction, whatever channel said it. But they're like, guaranteed Rev is going to be live streaming soon. No. But I decided to give you a video here. Because you do deserve that. Somebody said, "What? Oh, we've been here for years, Rev, with you. Supporting you. And you can't even make a fucking video for us." Well, I'm making the fucking video now. Ravioli, what the fuck is the deal? I'll tell you what the deal is. I'm homeless. Since I told you the eviction thing and the not eviction, the fucking condemning of the house, I've been on the street. And I've learned a lot about life. Holy shit. I was a spoiled brat kid. No, I wasn't a brat, but I was spoiled as fuck. And I'll tell you, what people go through on the street is fucking insane, especially in Scranton, PA. Because I'm going to tell you that there are not many services or anything that you would call support for the homeless population here very much. With that being said, the main reason I'm making this video, it's going out to Shani. Yes, it's going out to Shani. And I made a post, right? I told you guys I contacted her healthcare coordinator. Well, she got back to me today in a text message. And she said, "Jason, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't tell you anything." So there you go. I'm not going to know what happened to Shani. Get out of here. Somebody fucking called me while I'm making the video. So now I have to stitch the fucking video together. So Ann told me I can't tell you shit, guys, because she can't tell me anything. So if she can't tell me anything, there's no way I'm going to be able to find out anything about Shani. I really, really wanted to know how she's doing. Because I'm going to be honest, I've had time to think about what happened between me and her. At the end, okay? All that crazy shit with the live streams And then she started calling me a pedophile and a fucking rapist and all this fucking crazy shit and say I was small dick and all this fucking bullshit. Of course she did that. Like, why would I think otherwise? Why would I think that she would do anything else? No, of course I would. And I knew she was going to do that when I did what I did. What did I do? I'll tell you what I did. I was really done with the relationship. Done. And I knew that the only way that she would be okay with us being apart was if I went real negative on her. It was a huge mistake. And I regret it. And I hope Shani sees this someday. Because why? What am I saying to you, Shani? I'm saying to you that I only wanted the absolute best for you ever. And since having time alone, a lot of time alone, and being lonely as fuck, because that's the way it is when you're homeless. There's a lot of people around you when you're homeless because you got to come together as a community. But it's also very lonely. If you don't have your girl out here with you, because there's some individuals that have their woman out here with them. That's fantastic. You know, if you can go through this with another soul, that's fantastic. But if you don't have somebody to go through it with, this is fucking death. You saw in my post I said that I spent a night with a guy in a tent. Yeah, we cuddled. It's a guy, actually, he was a year below me in high school. And, or maybe a couple years below me in high school, I'm not sure. And, yeah, we cuddled. Why? We had to. It was like 19 degrees out at the end of the, going into the morning. We were in a kiddie tent.
Here it comes.
And the thing was collapsing on top of our heads because it was like not that cold at the nighttime. And it was raining all night. I did the neck thing. Laugh at that, motherfucker. Look at the Times building. That's Scranton, PA for you. This is my home. And I've been getting to know the streets, you know? It's a fucking cool place. I know this place way better than when I had a house here. Go figure. But I cuddled a man to get warm.
Cuddled a man.
And I'm going to tell you, it was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever experienced. Bizarre. Cuddling a man. Did I ever dream that I would cuddle a man for any reason? No. But I did, because I had to, because it was freezing. What do I say to you, Shani? I only ever wanted the best for you. You refused to accept that we were done in a relationship. And I was telling you I would even take care of you still.
Sure.
But your mind was so fucked up at that time because of William. William caused all of this. William caused our breakup.
Yeah, blame somebody else.
And I know I'm going to get so much hate for this. How dare you attack her kid? Yeah, well, guess what? Her kid's an asshole.
Nice guy.
He was seeking attention because he felt like he was ignored, which is ridiculous because Shani would drop anything to talk to that boy. He went silent on her when he knows that kid is smart. He knows how much that would have fucked her up. And it did. Bad. And it did cause our breakup. It led to it. Because her depression after him going silent made her like she was dead already.
Dead already? Whoa, really?
So what am I saying to Shanny? I'm really sorry about my behavior at the end. Because I was listening to troll women.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. I was listening to troll women. That's his excuse. What a pathetic human being. I was listening to I can't even believe he said that. I was listening to troll women.
That were acting like, oh, we might like you and shit like that. To bait me into doing bad shit to you, Shannon. And I did it. And it wrecked both of our lives.
Sure did.
Because we could have been in Uncle Tom's house a lot longer. There was no reason to condemn the house. None. The pipes were good. It wasn't that messy. It was at the end because of all the crazy shit that went on. But it wasn't messy. There was no reason to condemn the house. They condemned the house because it became such a problem with the police. And why was that? Because of the shit that I was pulling upstairs that triggered her so bad that she was starting to get physically violent again. So I am taking responsibility right now. And I'm saying directly to Shanny, I'm really sorry. Because I've been alone out here walking the streets, smoking cigarettes and whatever.
Whatever? What do you mean smoking cigarettes and whatever? What does that mean? Smoking cigarettes and whatever. I'd say that we have an issue there. Smoking cigarettes and whatever. We have a topic of conversation, definitely.
And I've had time to really think about this. And I've wept, Shan. I've wept. I have cried a lot for you. Not because I miss our relationship. I don't. I don't miss that.
Then why are you talking about it?
I do miss the good times we had. I think about them with sorrow now. Because I do miss those good times with you. But I just wanted to make this video to take responsibility for being a fucking asshole. And getting on there with Fupa Cheese, L, the L chick, and Jules.
He spends all of his life online, acting like an idiot, making a fool of himself, doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, and then making a video of apology. Isn't that typical of this dude? He's now homeless. He's now a vagabond, a real vagabond, like a hobo vagabond.
And being really not okay with you. I was so fucked up in the head. And I wanted you to really fucking get it that I was done with our relationship.
Why don't you make more excuses?
You just couldn't accept that. But now you have to. I forced that.
Yeah. All right, this is not me. This is from the source. Apparently it clears up after a few seconds. Few seconds? Hello? Oh. Man, what's going on?
Do I regret that? No, I don't regret that because I did not want a relationship with you anymore, Shan. I didn't. You'd become so fucking miserable that I couldn't see myself going forward in life with you anymore. That's what happened. Do I still have love
He's
in my
talking to
heart for
Shannon.
you? I will always have love in my heart for you. Because your heart is good. You're sweet. And I wish you the absolute best in life, Shannon. The best. Peace and Maranatha.
What was that? That was it. So that's the latest from Jason. He's homeless. He's apologizing to Shani as he usually does. And I got to say that. Oops, I didn't want that. So I got to share something with you guys. I've been following this guy on social media. I think he's a guy. I've been following this person on social media, and a post was made earlier today from this person, and I was wondering what you guys make of it, because I want to share it with you. I don't know. This person thinks he's got some kind of he or she, I don't know, thinks that he or she has some kind of control over the world or something. Anyway, here it is. What do you think? What do you think of this? So this person, we don't know who he really is or she, because there's no picture. There's just some kind of an avatar, and she writes, there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again, MIGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Do you think that's really the president? Do you think that he's got such chutzpah that he can just say shit like that on social media? I mean, it's the internet, so you can say anything you like on the internet. But to who does he think he is? Huh? All right, I'm just kidding. I think Donald Trump's doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. There was somebody. Oh, yeah. I'm getting flack. I am getting criticism from people who watch my stuff, follow me, and I don't know how to handle it. But all I can say, tell you what I can say this, is that I have opinions, and none of my opinions are based on emotions. None of my political opinions or opinions of history, none of it is based on emotion. It's all based on fact. So when I criticize somebody or when I do a reaction video, a negative reaction video, sure, to somebody who spews nonsense, to somebody who can only come online when he is schnockered, when he's had too much to drink, when he's inebriated, when he's feeling good, that's when he comes online and talks absolute shit. You guys don't know who I'm talking about, do you? I don't know either at this point. I do. I found him. I'm talking about this guy. No, not that guy. This guy. He is pissed, and he is making, I think this is the one. Yeah, he's criticizing Donald Trump for Iran. Okay, but let's get something straight before we listen to more of that nonsense. Iran is evil. No, I'll take that back. Iran is not evil. Islam is evil. The Iranian regime of Islamists is evil. There's really no debate about it. They're evil. They kill people for ideological reasons. They are ruthless. They are callous. They treat women way worse than they treat men when it comes to the authorities, violence in the streets, protests. If women protest, the besiege and the IRGC and the men with guns, they all go, oh yeah, women are protesting. They're not wearing their headscarves. Let's go in and slaughter. Anyway, that's what they do. And TJ seems to support that, because TJ says that, well, I'll tell you what, just listen to this. I'm 6 minutes into a 10-minute video, and I stopped it because I'd had enough. But now I'd like to include you in the torture that I had to endure for 6 minutes.
I feel like my videos.
Okay, just remember though, this guy is pissed out of his tree. He's drunk, and he's yelling. He doesn't really have anything to say or a point to make, but he's just full of hate. He's drunk. He's full of hate. Here he goes.
Have taken on a defeatist tone as of late, and I don't really like it. I want to come out here and tell you with some kind of fire in my belly that we need to fight back. But there's plenty of people doing just that.
Well, I'm kind of being an idiot and not showing you everything here, so that's just hold on a minute here. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I think. There we go. There we go. Okay. Here he goes.
And I don't really like it. I want to come out here and tell you with some kind of fire in my belly that we need to fight back.
See, this is a performance. He doesn't go on stage. He doesn't go in front of the camera until he's had a few of the, if you don't know me. Go ahead, boy.
But there's plenty of people doing just that, and I don't see it going anywhere. I see a bunch of monkeys that hoot and holler, thump their chests until they're exhausted, and they go back to sleep.
A bunch of monkeys. Who are the monkeys, TJ? Tell me. He doesn't say anything other than making stupid claims.
So maybe the most valid thing I can do at this point is draw your attention to just how
drunk I am. I am so drunk, I have the courage to go online and talk shit into the camera.
ineffectual we've become. In the lead up to the Iraq War, Bush felt the need to sell the war to the country. to get the American people on his side as much as he could.
All right, this is where he's equivocating badly, because Bush war and Trump war are two separate wars with two separate outcomes, with two separate strategies, with one with a plan. Trump's got a plan. Bush didn't have a clue. He went in there. He kicked, he kicked Iraq in the ass, and then Iraq kicked him in the ass. Tit for tat kind of thing. But it's not going to happen with Trump. However, this man here, TJ, after a couple of drinks, of course, he's got something to say.
Before committing troops to the conflict.
There's no troops to the conflict. You know, when you say troops, you mean troops on the ground, boots on the ground, right? Well, there's no troops, at least no American troops, right? So are you concerned for the Kurds or something, TJ? Or do you have a clue? No, you don't have a clue.
Trump didn't do any of that. He just pulled the trigger on war without even the flimsiest little pretense of democratic deliberation.
Oh, okay. This is what pisses me off. I'm going to just go back a bit. Let me say that again.
He just pulled the trigger on war without even the flimsiest little pretense of democratic deliberation.
The flimsiest little pretext of democratic deliberation. Trump just pulled the trigger on war. TJ, TJ, I just got to tell you, buddy, that the Iranian regime for the last 47 years has been exporting terrorism, has been financing terrorism, has built up an absolute massive arsenal of ballistic missiles, and has shot them at Israel thousands and thousands of times, and has now shot them at her neighbors, Iran's neighbors. And you are bitching that Donald Trump went to war with this fucking evil? Man, you're deluded. In fact, I think your brain is mush. It's like all from all the alcohol. Dude.
That's how confident the administration is that our opinions don't matter. And I wish I could say,
well, you got an opinion. Evil is evil. The Iranian mullahs, the Iranian regime, Islam in itself is evil, and it must be destroyed. And Trump is doing that. He's destroying evil. I don't see why you'd have an issue with that at all, especially considering that the evil being destroyed is Islam. Is in Iran, a non-Arabic country, a non-Muslim country. I think that Islam has not much of a future in Iran in terms of maybe historically and culturally in a way, but definitely not in the government. Yuck.
their confidence is misplaced. But on what basis would I say such a thing? They've earned this. They've broken the spirit of the people of this country, domesticated, declawed, disempowered, broken. It feels as if our new role is to simply fall in line as the American Republic.
Don't fall out of your chair, TJ. You're teetering and tottering there. Oh, boy. Hope everything goes well for you.
Falls, and the American empire rises up to take its place. We no longer have a president, but a decaying emperor making decisions unilaterally on the basis of his own ego.
See? What a stupid statement. That Donald Trump is making decisions unilaterally based on his own ego. When he's fighting the evil that is Islam, doofus. And everybody like you, every single person who doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing in Iran just because he's Donald Trump, but doesn't see the evil that Donald Trump is addressing in Iran with the support of Iranians, with the support of Iranians worldwide. American woke people are intrinsically stupid because rational people think, critical thinkers think, woke people like this drunkard, he hasn't formulated a rational thought in his mind since he knew that God doesn't exist. I mean, he is an atheist, but woke.
And his mantra is, it's better to ask forgiveness than to seek permission. And even the forgiveness doesn't matter that much to him. Because
ask forgiveness from who? Has anybody heard Donald Trump? And I'm assuming he's talking about Donald Trump. Has anybody heard TJ ask or heard? Sorry. Has anybody ever heard Donald Trump ask for forgiveness?
Because anyone who doesn't forgive him is just a terrorist or an enemy, and he'll deal with them eventually.
He doesn't have a clue what terrorism actually is, what Iran is doing. He hasn't probably read a newspaper about news from outside of the United States since probably never. He's probably never read a news. He's probably has no clue what happens outside the borders of the United States. But give him a few drinks and a camera, and you get this.
I may not have much fight left in my being, but I can tell you this. I will not forgive him or his administration for what has been done to me or to my countrymen or to the world.
What has been done to him? He looks well fed. He looks bathed. He's got a setup there that seems to be private. Mike, he's got a roof over his head. Such a cry. This guy's a crybaby. That's it. A crybaby. My TJ the crybaby.
But even as I say those words, I hear how small they are, how meaningless and tepid and dismissible they are.
Dismissible?
How if I was in the position of the powers...
You? In the position of what? The town drunk? If I was in the position of President of the United States, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Crazy.
That be, I would not even hear those words. And if I did, I would laugh at them. They must sound to the ears of the architects of suffering like the meaningless braying of an animal being led to the slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse. Yeah, okay. Try and be serious for a while, TJ. This is hilarious. Just especially knowing that you just schnockered. It reminds me of when Jason, way many years ago, when Jason was Revelation News and he was living with his mother, or after his mother died, I can't remember. But he was living in the house there and he was doing his radio shows, or his streams. And it was Jesus, he was Revelation News, all about Jesus and everything. And he would never go online either unless he was 2 sheets to the wind. unless he'd had lots of alcohol, which would give him the courage to get behind the camera, switch it on, and preach. So this is what TJ reminds me of. Same kind of deal.
I have nothing more to say.
My painting.
He has nothing more to say. Okay. Well, he might not have anything more to say, but there's somebody who has something to say. Where is he? Where is he? What happened to that? Ah, there he is. Okay. Hello, viewers. We are now going to look at or listen to our good friend, G-Man. G-Man is delusional. G-Man is a child. He's 50-something years old. He's still a child. I mean, you'll see. He's very hyperactive. He's very unconvincing to us, but he has this presupposition inside of him, which is his delusion, which is evident for everybody who listens to him. But to him, he misses the point every single time. So here we go. Oh, he's picked on somebody, I think, in the atheist community to challenge or to insult or to whatever he's going to do. Anyway, this is the presuppositionalist evangelical preacher Christian G-Man. Okay, so for G-Man, God exists. That's it. There's no. That's his. That's his axiom. Whereas my axiom, God doesn't exist. God is impossible. So when he talks about God, which he's going to do, he's talking about something that is imaginary. And I find that hilarious. So go for it, G-Man. Go for it.
Miss me, how you guys doing? Welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. And today, the link is out there if you want to join. We're going to be taking a look at a video today. We're going to get right into it. And we're going to be asking the question, can people really prove that God is evil? We see a lot of videos.
Yeah, okay. Well, I tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to put a link as well to the room. You guys can join in and you can help me criticize or not, set me on the right track if I go astray and all that kind of stuff. So you come on in, you join me, and we can talk about what things are being said on the screen.
On social media. And we see people in our society today having very strong opinions about God, like they're talking about Superman or Batman or Aquaman or something like that. But when it's time
firstly, when it comes to his God, his book that he loves so much, that his God lives in, or where his God emanates from, where how his God gets into his imagination is from this book, where his God is like the champion, the winner. Now, how he defends it is indefensible.
Start talking about the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. I don't believe that there are arguments that can be made to try to argue that God is evil. I think the only people...
I can make an argument that God is evil because I can make an argument that God is not evil too. But because God is imaginary, an argument that God is evil makes sense considering the nature of things in the real world. Don't you think?
That can come that can actually form an argument to question God's character, or people who hate God, or people who have opinions about God based on ignorance and not based on actual knowledge.
This is what I'm saying about him. He's absolutely insistent that this God of his exists. So anybody who disagrees with him or challenges him, he thinks that they don't understand something about God, or it's the person's fault who he's talking about, who's declaring that God is impossible. That's my position. God is impossible. But he twists my God is impossible around to God is 100% possible. And then he tacks on things like God is good, and God is justice, and God is the light, and all this kind of nonsense. And he's a 50-year-old man, and he's still talking about these childish fantasies.
Hard for anybody to look at Christianity and call God evil if you look at the facts and don't look at the opinions. You know what I mean?
Well, the facts are that the only way we can look upon Christianity, whether it's evil or not, is through the deeds of Christians. And if we look at the deeds of Christians over time, especially since remember when they were just being oppressed by the Romans. They were oppressed by the Romans, and they were killed, and they were martyred, and then people still venerate them, after all these many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, if not thousands of years. Oh, my doggy just go lie down, sweetie. Go on, go lie down. Sorry. No, I lost my train of thought. I'm just going to let G-Man pick it up for me.
A lot of these opinions aren't even based on facts. So let's take a look at this video here real quick. We're going to be taking a look at what Richard Dawkins had to say. If you don't know who Richard Dawkins is, let me...
Again, remember that in G-Man's world, God exists 100%. In Sidney Winston's world, God exists 0%. He's talking about Richard Dawkins. Well, Richard Dawkins is not a 0%er. All right, I can't explain. I cannot understand how anybody could be anything other than a 0%er. But that's what the link is for, up on the top.
Just show you real quick what Mr. Richard Dawkins actually believes before we start listening to what this man has to say about our faith, just so that everybody can understand where I'm coming from. This is Richard Dawkins. He's going to be telling you who your relatives are.
Genes are a kind of archive of the remote past, and they go through us to the remote future. Henry Dawkins may be my 4 greats-grandfather, and he's put some genes in here. But my 200 million greats-grandfather was a fish. And by the way, the same fish was your 200 million greats-grandfather too.
You hear that, ladies and gents? You're 200 million.
You see? G-Man can't handle science. He just can't. Look what he's gonna say about it now. At least what the video is going to say.
My grandfather was a cold-blooded animal that swam in the water and breathed underwater, and it was a fish, according to Mr. Dawkins. Now, he also has some strong opinions about what we believe as Christians. So let's take a look at what he has to say here real quick. All right. Regarding this particular topic. And again, if you want to come in and talk about this, you can. If not, don't sweat it. All right. Let's take a look at this video here where Richard Dawkins is going to be discussing what he thinks about Christianity.
Okay.
And a lot of interesting things are going to be said in this. So I'm going to be stopping and chiming in on this. So,
okay. So
let's just start this from the beginning and let's get going with this. Let me just put this from the beginning. And here we go.
Professor Richard Dawkins.
Okay. So Richard Dawkins on the right in the blue shirt, he's talking to Alex O'Connor. Alex O'Connor, he's a philosopher, but when he started out on YouTube many years ago, he was just a kid, and I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. His channel was then called Irate Alex. But then when he graduated and he got more serious into his career, he changed his YouTube channel to Alex O'Connor. Smart guy.
Dawkins, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Ayaan Hirsi Ali recently, despite you being perhaps the world's most famous atheist, described you as one of the most Christian people that she knows. Why did she say that?
I adore Ayaan. I'm a
If
great.
you don't know, Richard Dawkins is probably one of the most popular atheists out there, and
second most popular atheist out there.
Somebody complimented him with being a Christian. For those of you who may not know this about Richard Dawkins, he considers himself to be what is known as a cultural Christian. He wants the good parts of what he thinks the good parts are, the things that we celebrate and the things that we do. But he doesn't want no attachment to Jesus or anything like that. And he calls himself a Christian. So let's hear what he has to say.
Great fan of hers. I have talked to her about this. I think the respect in which we differ is that for me, what really matters is the truth claims of Christianity.
I have to go and get coffee. I'll be right back.
And for her, what really matters is the morality, the politics, actually. I think for her, Christianity is a bastion against something worse. As Hilaire Belloc said, always keep a hold of nurse for fear of finding something worse. And for her, I think she wants a faith which will help people to stand up against worse faiths. And she singles out Islam, she singles out China, I think.
One of the things that you guys are going to notice when you listen to many of these secular people talk about Christianity, one of the common denominators that you're going to notice, it doesn't matter if you're talking to an agnostic atheist, if you're talking to a strong atheist, a militant atheist, a weak atheist, ichtheist, it doesn't matter how they go about making their particular claim. But one of the things that you're going to notice about them is, especially if you've been a Christian for a while, for at least 5 years or more, you're going to notice that they can't accurately tell you what you believe as a follower of Jesus Christ. If you do find in the rare occasion where one of them can do it, that person is probably on their way out of atheism. The majority of them are in the position that they're in based on ignorance, and is based on the hardening of their hearts by the devil. You know what I mean? And a lot of them just don't understand what it is that we believe. So you'll hear a lot of weird things come out of their mouth regarding what we believe, why we believe it. A lot of them cannot rightly divide the word of truth because the spiritual.
We know exactly what you believe, G-Man, and it makes no sense. I have made a video about it. I'm going to make a video again about what you believe. Nonsense. Crap. Nicene Creed nonsense.
Discerned according to the scriptures.
And Putin and wokeism.
Yes.
I'm with her on all those. And to the extent that I think that a religion might be valuable for political reasons, I would go along with her. But I think it's the wrong way to approach religion. I think that what really...
And this is the other thing about Christianity that I wish they would understand. We don't consider Christianity to be a religion. If you look at scripture, the Bible actually does talk about what real...
Okay, here's a big bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. Christianity is not a religion. You can ask a Christian. In fact, a Christian just said that. His name is G-Man. You want to hear it again?
Which religion? I think that what really...
And this is the other thing about Christianity that I wish they would understand. We don't consider Christianity to be a religion. If you look at scripture, the Bible actually does talk about what real and true religion is. You know what I mean? When our theologians are talking about religion. They're talking about a belief system with rules and guidelines and things of that nature. That's not what Christianity is. Christianity is a relationship with our Creator through our Redeemer, our Lord and our Savior, Jesus.
Fair enough. That's your imaginary God in your head that you're having a relationship with. What I really, really can't stand about Christianity is the fact that they have to preach, that they have to pollute my ears with their nonsense in the streets to promote their fantasy, to promote their delusion, which at the very, very bottom of their intellectual bucket, they have to know that they're full of shit. They have to know. Unless they're self-deluding, I don't know. But explain Christianity to us, which is not a religion, G-Man.
Jesus Christ. And because there are so many other different religions out there, I think these secular people are not very knowledgeable about what it is that we Christians actually believe. That's why
we don't care what you believe. Go believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, G-Man. Just don't come to me and tell me that I got to believe the nonsense that you believe. That is the thing that bothers everybody about Christianity, about Christians, is that they're always promoting this life after death and eternal life and all this absolute garbage.
In 2020,
but I will tell you something. I'd rather live in that, which I do, which we do, than live under Islam any day.
27, it's always interesting, or even in 2026 when I was talking to them, it's very interesting to hear them offer their opinions about what it is that we believe. But if you ask them, if you really get into the nitty-gritty with them and ask them what we believe, they really don't know. They'll tell you what the Jews believed in the Old Testament. You know what I mean? They'll tell you what Peter believed when Christ walked the earth. But they really don't know what we believe and why we believe it. They really don't. And it's our job to inform them what we believe.
That's what I'm saying. It's not your job to inform anybody about what you believe. You believe what you want, keep it to yourself, and stay out of my way. I don't care about your silly, stupid delusion. It's yours, nobody else's. But it is entertaining when you bring it up, I must say. I mean, yeah, I'm watching it.
Why we believe it. And we do this by preaching, and we do this by teaching and putting our gifts into action.
What really matters about a religion is whether it's true. And to adopt a religion for, it's almost as though one is saying, well, I don't believe this nonsense, but it's a very good idea if other people do. And there's something patronizing about that. She doesn't do that. She says, I believe in it. I am a Christian. And then,
oh, I got to make a comment. I'm sorry, I didn't see that until now. Killswitch 489 writes, it sucks so many of Helton's videos are members only. Well, not if you cough up the $2 per month, then it doesn't suck so bad, except that you've lost $2 every month. But if you become a member and you watch every Von Helton video you can within a month, then it's only cost you $2. See? Silver cloud to every lining. Silver cloud to every lining.
Therefore, it's not patronizing, but I think the fundamental motivation is a political and a moral one.
I presume, as both an atheist and as a person with an understanding of not just biological but also mimetic evolution, having coined the term meme, you'll have to think of religion as essentially...
As a Christian, many of us was taught, I mean, even before I became a Christian, I was taught about what evolution was in school. I'm not going to say I paid attention to it, but I was taught about what evolution was in school. I think for the longest time, I believe
he didn't pay attention to evolution. He started out by making fun of Richard Dawkins, saying that his 200th millionth ancestor, or whatever, was a fish. because that's the evolutionary evidence. And now he's going to tell us that evolution. I'm not sure what he's going to tell us, but I'm sure he's going to tell us that evolution is just a story, just a delusion, just an imaginary, right? Like Christianity.
That we shared an ancestor with ape-like creatures. When I became a Christian, my worldview changed. My Bible teaches me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God.
All right, who doesn't exist. Now, before we carry on, I want to just give you an idea of what is happening with G-Man here. This is his statement of faith. Okay, when he tells you, if he tells you that he's a Christian, and you ask what kind of a Christian is he, then this is it. So, my statement of faith. It really believes in God the Almighty, maker of Jesus Christ, that born of the Virgin Mary, suffered and crucified and raised and rose and ascended into heaven and the right hand of God, and he believes in the Holy Spirit and the judging and the communion of saints and forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting. That is what G-Man actually says he believes. I don't believe that he believes it, because nobody would believe that. Nobody nobody who's sane would believe it. And if he says he believes it, then he's not sane. Just saying. All right. Carry on, buddy.
So I don't look at myself as an animal. I look at myself as a child of God, right? And then when the more I learn about God, and the more I learn about Christ, and the more I learn about myself, and the more I learn about my purpose, and the more I look at the natural world, and I look at the theory of evolution, the more I begin to see the differences between the people who reject God and the people who accept him.
See? He presupposes that God exists, and that God exists, and you have a choice. Either you accept him or you reject him. But if God exists and you have a choice to accept him or reject him, then that defeats if God exists. Because if God exists, then he's in control, right? Why would God create an atheist? Why? Why would God create a human being called Sidney Winston who makes the emphatic claim that God is impossible? There's a 0% possibility of a God existing, of a creator. Everything is physical, everything is energy. And it's eternal. No beginning, no end. Newton's first law. I won't tell you to look it up. I won't tell you to Google it. But Newton's first law pretty much states that there is a certain amount of energy, and that's it. You can't add to it. You can't destroy it. You can't do anything else with it but transform it. Which means it's always been there. Eternally. Energy is eternal. There is no state that's possible if it doesn't include energy. Like, just think about nothingness. How possible is nothingness? Because if you've got nothingness, you've got nothingness eternally. Because there's nothing that can change it. If there's nothing there, there's no catalyst. There's no way to, unless, of course, there's a quantum effect. But you know that, it's probably true. There's no such thing as nothingness. There are only quantum effects.
Something which serves some kind of social function. That must be why it exists. That's why it evolved. Given that that's the case, is it really?
I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't mean to interrupt, but if you guys have opinions and want to say something and want to teach me something, or think that I'm lacking knowledge of something, then come on in. Let's have a chat.
Be so inappropriate to think about religion in terms of how it serves us socially. If that,
and I'm gonna say this again, one of the things that atheists do that is extremely annoying is that they will say religion. They never give you a specific unless you ask them to.
It doesn't have to. We don't need to, because religion is essentially irrelevant to an atheist until you start shoving it in my face. But the existence of God is really not debatable. There is no God. There's no debate about it. So how does a guy like G-Man who wants to debate me? Here, I'll show you. Dude wants to debate me. Let me go and find it. Okay. The guy wants to debate me. Yeah. What is this? Yeah, he says, Sidney Winston, I just made a video on my G-Man channel saying, how do you know God is imaginary, or as like always you mention, as like always you atheists, sorry, I can't read this very small, have to answer. So yeah, maybe you can't debate because you have no knowledge on the topic. So he wants to debate. All right, well, come on in, G-Man. You first have to convince me that Jesus is even a myth. I don't believe that Jesus existed. There's no evidence that Jesus existed. At least there's no convincing evidence that Jesus existed. Okay, let's go back to this.
A show where they're specifically talking about a particular group. The majority of the time when you hear religion, they're talking about Christianity. I remember one time I went to one of these AI thingies on my phone, and
AI thingy.
I wanted to debate an atheist. So I created an atheist on here, and I started debating them. And instantly we started talking about Christianity. I was like, you're saying religion. I'm like, which religion are you talking about? There are hundreds of religions out there.
That's a dumb thing.
Which religion are you talking about?
That's a stupid thing to say, G-Man. We're in North America, which is a Christian region, totally Christian. And when you talk about religion on social media in North America, the default is Christianity. So don't question it. It's a stupid thing to question. It's obviously it's Christianity, because if it was a Mennonitism, then you probably would have a case if people just focused on Mennonites. But to say that to call us out because when we talk about religion we mention Christianity is not fair. Not in North America.
Because each and every belief system out there has a different belief system. We don't all believe the same things. All of us don't share this.
It doesn't matter. The core problem with you Christians who all don't believe the same things is that you do believe that God exists. You never question how it's possible that God exists. And I think that is disingenuous. Question everything, folks. Question everything.
That don't share the concept about who and what God is. Some people believe in multiple gods. Some people believe in only one. Some people believe that human beings are God. Some people believe that the planets and the stars and the moons and the universe is God. So you got to be specific when you're talking about this. So when they say religion, they tend to forget that there are religions out there that are secular, that don't have a so-called God in their belief system. So when they use this word, their usage is broken and wrong, because they could be talking about Buddhism. And Buddha and Buddhism, and even though we Christians would consider Buddha to be an idol, you know what I mean, a false idol on top of that, a false God to be, on top of that. But to them, they don't know that when they say religion, they're including Buddhism. They're including all these secular religions into it as well. And I just wish these atheists would be a little bit more specific about what they're talking about, even though we all know what Satan's doing with them. It's just too bad that they're too blind to be able to see the commonalities with it.
From our shared worldview, it must be what religion really is.
From an academic point of view, I think it's a very interesting question what religion is all about. What does it serve a social function?
Now remember, when you hear the word religion, I want you to think about the secular religions as well too. I want you to think about that.
What's a secular religion? What if anybody's out there watching? What is a secular religion? If you can put that down in the comments, because I don't know what a from my perspective as a Gnostic atheist, as a strong atheist, I can't imagine what a secular religion like what would an atheist have need for a religion? Maybe routines, maybe daily, again, routines and traditions, maybe, but religion.
Okay, so when they start talking about an all-knowing and all-powerful God, well, that's not in Buddhism. You know what I mean? You got to think like this. So when you hear them using these general words and not being specific about what they're talking about, you don't understand. They know what they're doing.
Bullshit, G-man. You are just as guilty because you mention God all the time, God and Jesus, but you don't answer any questions. You just make the claim. You don't provide any fact and any evidence. All you do is you attack atheists for God knows what reason, but you attack us. And when we say to you, you know what, G-man, God is impossible, cannot exist. Instead of you listening to how we explain the whole thing, because it can get lengthy, but instead of you listening, all you do is you start over talking. Yeah, atheist. That's your defense. And if you want to do it that way, you'll never get anywhere.
When they're doing this, they repeat this and they repeat this. And unfortunately, some people who are Christians who are not learned very well in the faith will hear this and assume that the atheist is telling the truth. And then they'll be all shocked and surprised when they see a person like me talk to an atheist. And I say, no, you're not going to get that with me. Which religion are you talking about? You just can't say religion. Because if you do it, I'm going to say atheist. I'm going to say Buddhism. There's a whole bunch of different.
Oh, bullshit. Why should we even talk about religion? I mean, they're talking about religion, so what? But when you get into, if you come into my chat right now, let's say, we will not talk about religion. We'll talk about the non-existence of God. And I will try and my best to convince your rational mind, if you have one, to at least think about it. Think about it. You think about God not existing as much as I have thought about God existing. And I came to my conclusion. And maybe I'd love to hear what your conclusion would be if you actually sat down and listened to this. But you have pretty much proved your point, man, that it's futile listening to something like this when you a reaction, because your whole approach is biased. That, there's absolutely no objectivity in your approach to to your philosophy, your theology, none. And we're going to get into it because you pretty much start your Christianity in the year 325 of the Common Era. Whereas before that, for a couple of hundred years, we have Christian thinkers, Christian writers, Christian philosophers who have different opinions to what G-Man has or what the Nicene Creed has forced G-Man into. And I think those opinions, those Christianities, made more sense than what came out of the Nicene Creed, the Council of Nicaea. And that's all I've got to say about G-Man. That's all I want to say about G-Man. Stay tuned for the members only stream where Grampy Lobster and I rip Von Helton to shreds. It's a retro. You might enjoy it. Until then, because this has been an hour and 10 minutes that you won't get back. I thank you for watching. And I wish you a good day, good evening, and goodbye.